Hiya foodie folks and welcome back to the channel. Today's recipe is potato latkes. That's right folks, potato latkes. You might say potato, but I say potato latkes. You could also call them potato pancakes. As a matter of fact, the translation of latkes is, oh my god, a delicious potato pancake that's fried to a crispy golden brown and a soft, tender, and delicious inside. That's the exact translation from Hebrew, maybe. Anyway, the recipe I use for my potato latkes I got from All Recipes about 10 years ago. It's Potato Latkes 1. I'll put a link down below, as well as I'll put the actual recipe in the description, so take a peek there. But the ingredients list is simple. 2 cups peeled potatoes, peeled and shredded potatoes. Now, it doesn't specify the type of potato. I've used Yukon Golds, which is typically my go-to potato for most recipes, unless it specifies something. Or russets. These happen to be russets because they were on sale, and we all know I'm cheap and whatever. 1 tablespoon grated onion. 1 tablespoon. That's not enough, but that's what the recipe calls for. 3 eggs beaten. I'm just gonna pretend they were mean and talk bad about my mother and beat the bejesus out of them. 2 tablespoon all-purpose flour. 1.5 teaspoons salt. 1/2 cup peanut oil for frying. Now, I'm not going to use peanut oil for a couple reasons. 1, it's a little expensive. And 2, it's a little expensive. I've actually used it a couple times. I can't taste the difference, so I'm going to go with the cheap oil. All right, guys, do me a favor. Grab a snack and a beverage. And if you haven't done so already, why don't you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment on the video, and throw me a thumbs up, because I like that. Stand by, I'm gonna show you my food processor. All right, guys, here's my food processor. This is a Hamilton Beach unit. I did a lot of research last year. I would always borrow a food processor from a friend of mine or a family member to make latkes, basically. And I decided I do it every year. It's something I should have in my arsenal, my toolkit of kitchen tools. Now, the problem is, the wife doesn't like storing things. She doesn't like things out on the counter, so she wants to store them. So before we get something, we got to find storage for it. And these things are awkward as you know what. But we found a home for it, so everybody's happy. Now, I did some research, and this one was, I think, Amazon's best rated. Plus, it was inexpensive. So I'll leave a link down below. You can check it out. Of course, it's an affiliate link, so just think about clicking on it. Boom, I'm a millionaire. All right. Food processor is pretty simple. There's 2 things I wanted with the food processor. Obviously, I wanted a shredding wheel because you need that. But I also didn't want the one where you have to turn it because you could never line up the tabs. This one you simply put on, boom, it's ready to go. All right, we have our potatoes. We're going to shred them, and then we have to wring them out. I have some cheesecloth. But we're going to try to get all the starch and juice out of them. That'll make for a much better latke. All right, folks, so this thing is pretty simple. We press shred and slice. Now, you can see it's not on, but this, you put it in, it closes the switch. All right, so we're just going to chop these bad boys up. I'm actually going to put them in like that, and then, no, I'm not. All right, here we go, folks. Does a nice job. It does leave some pieces, but all right, foodie folks, let's take a look. Here's what they look like, all shredded. Long strands, some of them are short strands, that's fine. And now we got to measure 2 cups, right? Yeah, it's about 2 cups. I mean, here's a cup. That's way more than 2 cups, right? I guess I should measure. All right, let's take a look. I did 3 large potatoes. There's 1 cup. There's 2 cups. I guess there's probably about 4 cups in here. 3.5 cups, right? So that's fine. I'm gonna add all that in. Now, you don't want to do what I just did. I just literally poured all the starch and juice into the bowl, which you don't want. So All right, I'm going to get wringing out, and I'll show you that process. Stand by. All right, fishy folks, let me show you my setup. The recipe says to use cheesecloth, which is what I use. Obviously, cheesecloth is used to make cheese, I guess. Anyway, I take a handful of the delicious potato-ness. I put it in the cheesecloth, and then you wrap the cheesecloth up. Now, if you have a better idea for this, I am open to suggestions. But then you just twist and twist and squeeze. Now, you can see how much starch and juice comes out. And that's what you do. I have one more handful to do. I'll do that handful, and then we'll get started on the actual latke making. Now, let me show you a trick. I double it up now, because there's no need to throw that away, and we'll just use the rest of the, try not to, yeah, it fell in. Try not to do that. So we just want to wrap it up and twist. And I know you're thinking to yourself, wow, there's a lot of stuff in there. And there is. Okay. There we go. All right. Move this off to the side. Get our big mixing bowl with our delicious looking shredded potatoes. So the recipe says, add 3 beaten eggs. Now, I added 4 eggs because I have a little bit more than 2 cups, about 3 cups of potatoes. And then it says tablespoon of grated onion. So let me just show you what a tablespoon of grated onion looks like. That's what a tablespoon of grated onion looks like. That's not enough. There's probably 2, maybe 3 tablespoons. That's enough. Love the deli cups for adding ingredients in. There we go. And then we need some salt. There's 1.5 tablespoons of salt, or sorry, teaspoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of flour. Again, not an exact science here. Oh, that's about 2 tablespoons. Now, we're going to use the best mixing device ever created, our hands. All right? I like this motion. If you saw, well, you're not going to see, but when you see my meatloaf video, you'll see that I mix the same way. Right? Now, this looks a little wet to me. Maybe I didn't wring enough. I didn't wring enough starch out. Maybe I added too many eggs, which is kind of what it looks like. I'm going to add a little bit more flour since I don't have any more potatoes. Notice the technique. You hold the bowl, you get your hand like a whisk. There you go. It mixes everything. All right. That's a little bit better. All right, folks. I got to heat up some oil. We're going to talk about the oil too. Stand by. All right, foodie folks, we're back. I've heated up my skillet. It's high-walled. It's about a 1/2 inch of oil in there. It calls for 1/2 cup of oil. I just pour oil. I use regular canola or vegetable oil, whatever's on sale. I don't find the taste matters much. And it doesn't say to what temperature. It just says till hot. So I have my therm probe, temperature probe here. I love this thing. I've talked about it before, but just in case, I'll throw a link down below for you to take a look. 315-ish, keeps going. Another trick to see if it's hot is just take a strand. That's what you want to see in here. All right, here we go, folks. Here's what I use. I use 2 spoons because I don't really want to get my hands all dirty. Put one in and flatten it out. That's it. Now, when I make this recipe for guests or Hanukkah or dinner, I probably multiply it by 5. You don't want to crowd them because you don't want them to steam in there. So we'll put 3 in. Ooh, look at that nice steam on the camera. That's nice. Then I also use 2 spatulas to help turn them because you don't want to break them when they turn. Basically, you want to fry them until they're golden brown. Now, this is going to be tender and delicious. Just like a bagel, You want the outside to be nice and crunchy. The inside you want tender and delicious, almost like a guppy fry, if you know what I'm saying, if you're coming over from the guppy channel, the fish channel. All right, we're going to check these real quick. I think they still need much more time, but yeah. Now, when you're cooking with oil, you definitely want to be careful. You don't want to overfill your pot or pan. You don't want the oil to get too hot and smoke and burn. So just be careful. Do a little research if you've never done it before. And yeah. All right, foodie folks, let's take a look at another one, see if they're ready to flip. Nope, not yet. And this one, nope, not yet. We're going to rotate them a little bit in the oil. Seems like we have a hot spot, so back to waiting we go. All right, another about 90 seconds has passed. Let's take a look. Yeah, still not really ready. Oh, that one's good. So this little one here we'll have to flip a second time. So we're going to let these cook off. And when we're done, I'm going to take them off and place them on a sheet pan lined with paper towels. If I was making a ton of these, I would put them on a sheet pan with a baking rack, just like I did the chicken parm. Just like I did the bacon. And I'd put them in the oven for at like 175 just so they stayed hot. And that would be fine. But I only have a small batch. I'll cook these all off, and then we'll try them, and I can't wait. All right, foodie folks, we're back. So you can see here, they are golden brown and delicious. It's about 8 minutes per side. Not as fast as if I was cooking over an actual fire. I don't know why, but that's the case. So here's what I like to do. I take them off. I put them on a paper towel lined sheet pan, and then I salt them immediately. And the reason why we salt them immediately while they're hot is that'll help the salt deliciousness get into the potato latke. Now, potatoes themselves are pretty bland, so you definitely need salt in this recipe. Oh, look at that. That is perfect. I'm not a big salt guy myself, but you do have to season, so. All right, here's the plan, folks. I'm going to cook off the rest of these, and then I'm going to show you how delicious they are. Stand by. All right, foodie folks, they are done. I like mine with applesauce. I like the sweetness of the applesauce, the savoriness of the latke. And like I said, I normally serve this with brisket. The combination of the three is amazing. I'm just telling you, trust the fat guy when it comes to food. Amazing. All right, folks, here we go. Now, also, you can serve it with sour cream, but only savages do that, so I'm not a savage. Oh, tender and delicious inside. Some applesauce. The edges are crispy, crunchy. You can hear it. The inside is literally tender, like a good steak tender. The flavor is spectacular. Little onion, you got the potato, there's a little salty tenderness to it. This is good stuff, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let me know how you make potato latkes. All right, folks, it's Indy. He wants some potato latkes too. Shh. All right, foodie folks, this is all jacked up. Shouldn't be doing this over hot oil. If I burn myself, this is going to be the best blooper ever. Like, seriously, what the heck just happened? I know you guys are like, why are you filming this? Just shut the camera off, dummy. Yeah, that would be better. You can still see the camera.